Hi, everybody. This is Josh Kulp. We are learning Daf Shuri. We are on Masechet Gittin, Daf Het. And there is a very interesting dispute here that I want to touch on two levels. The dispute is very much a modern type of dispute. What kind of territorial rights does a land have over the islands are at the sea, or that are in the sea? Which is a question that continues to plague modern countries. Or another question might be, what kind of rights do countries have over the sea itself, and particularly in terms of fishing, although that's not the issue over here in terms of oil as well, of course. So there are two opinions. We get quoted here a Breita. The Breita seems to be, the immediate reference point seems to be tithing. So what kinds of islands in the sea are the ground are subject to the laws of the land of Israel? And there are two opinions. The first opinion is, first of all, the word nisin is evidently a Greek word, not a Hebrew word. In Hebrew, we call them an island. But nisin, nisus, is the Greek word for island. Interesting that the rabbis use a Greek word and not a Hebrew word. Anyway, the islands that are in the sea, according to the first opinion, we would draw a line from the Amnon Mountains, the Amnon Heights, which are in the north, until the Wadi of Egypt, which is like sort of, if you can picture the curvature of Egypt when you go down from Israel, until that begins to curve, you would draw a line. Anything in between that counts as being part of the land of Israel, and anything out of it counts as being outside of the land of Israel. Rebbe Yehuda says anything opposite of the land of Israel counts as the land of Israel, meaning if you just go west, everything in the sea counts as part of the of Israel, which is quite an imperialist ambition here from Rebbe Yehuda. Now, when we get to the Tosfot, now immediately two things. First of all, in the Gemara, the Breita itself is referring to tithing. But in the context, it's saying that the same dispute about tithing also occurs about who has to make the declaration of the get. In other words, everybody would hold that people inside their line, where they draw the line of where Eretz Yisrael ends, where the land of Israel ends, would not have to make the declaration, and people outside of it would have to make the declaration. Now, there are two interesting things that come up in the medieval period, right on our page. First of all, Rabbeinu Tam, a 12th century French sage, grandson of Rashi, one of my favorite all-time sages, is asked an interesting question that everywhere they live, or pretty much virtually everywhere that the Jews lived in Rabbeinu Tam's time, is to the west of Israel, in which case France and England and Germany and Italy and Spain, all of those lands will be liable for tithes, which nobody was tithing produce grown in those lands during those times, or for as far as I know, at any time. So the question of Rabbeinu Tam is, why aren't we tithing? So his answer is quite easy. We don't follow Rebbe Yehuda. We follow the first opinion. All right, but still, it's interesting that somebody was worried that even in medieval France, they live in the land of Israel, which would have created a hardship for them because they would have had to tithe their produce. The second interesting thing is that they asked the question, well, how does Rabbi Yehuda know that everybody who lives all the way to the west of Israel, all the way out to Spain and Morocco and places like that, that they know how to write a proper get? That seems very far, right? It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense that all of those lands. So there are two answers. I think the easiest answer is that Rabbi Yehuda is only referring to islands. I think probably the most accurate answer is Rabbi Yehuda probably can only imagine going so far away. But he's not referring to the land masses that we call Europe or North Africa. Those are not, even according to Rabbi Yehuda, part of the land of Israel. At most, the maximalist vision would be that the islands in the Mediterranean, like I don't know if he knew about Sicily or some of the bigger islands. I suppose he would have counted Cyprus, what we call Cyprus. I mean, there are some islands in the Mediterranean. Cyprus is one of the larger ones. I suppose Rabbi Yehuda would say that Cyprus was part of the land of Israel, and I suppose he knew about the existence of Cyprus. It's a very close trip to Israel. Anyway, it's an interesting dispute. Interesting to see the echoes that we have of that dispute in the Middle Ages. And don't worry, if you're in America, you are not officially part of the land of Israel, so you don't have to be a part of our messy country that we have over here. You don't have to vote. Okay, you don't have the right to vote, but you also don't have to pay our heavy taxes. So you can be very glad about that.